Be ready, truly ready. Because what you've been carrying within you is more powerful than you've ever imagined. It's not something new, not something recently gifted or learned. It's been there for years, quietly waiting beneath the surface of your awareness, dormant but not forgotten. You've been walking around this world with the fire of a star living inside you. The world might not have seen it, and maybe you didn't either. Not fully, but that light is real. And now, it's getting ready to change everything. As we approach the solstice around June 20th, the energy around us is shifting in ways that can no longer be ignored. This solstice isn't just the turning of a season. It's not just about the sun hanging in the sky a little longer, or the earth reaching its peak tilt. This moment is a spiritual ignition point, a threshold, a cosmic doorway through which something ancient and electrifying begins to move. Think of it as a key that's long been hovering just above the lock, and now, finally, it clicks. And once it does, everything you've ever felt hidden within you, everything sacred, powerful, and sleeping, will begin to stir. This isn't evolution. This is activation. You are not slowly becoming something new. You are returning to what you've always been. The wisdom and the energy that are beginning to rise in you, they're not being downloaded from some distant star. They're surfacing from your own memory. It's in your bones, your blood, the stories your DNA still remembers. It lives in your dreams, in your breath, in the way your heart races when the truth gets close. It has been waiting patiently, curled up like a seed under winter snow, and now the warmth of this cosmic solstice light is telling it. It's time to rise. Each day leading up to the solstice, you might feel something strange, almost imperceptible at first. Maybe it's restlessness, maybe a fluttering in your chest, maybe an emotional wave that doesn't quite make sense. Don't dismiss it. This is the buildup, the slow coiling of the current. You are energy, and energy is alive. And that part of you, the magical, intuitive, spiritual part, it's beginning to wake up. You might notice your senses sharpening, your dreams becoming more vivid, or your instincts pulling you in new directions. That's not coincidence. That's your deeper self stretching after a long sleep. And here's the part that might catch you by surprise. Something unusual is already happening. It begins subtly, almost like a whisper in the background of your life. You might not even recognize it until it becomes impossible to ignore. But when you do finally connect the dots, when you realize what's been stirring and why, it's going to blow your mind wide open. And don't worry, I'll go into more detail on exactly what that is a little later, so keep listening. And if you've already been sensing something you can't explain, something shifting in your life, I invite you to share it. Even just commenting with 777 can be your signal that you're feeling it too. You're not alone in this. You're not imagining it. But here's something you might not know yet. The signal has already left the sun. The cosmic wave didn't wait for the solstice date on your calendar. It's already begun. It's moving now, flowing through the Earth's magnetic field like a soft surge of light, wrapping around us like a tide of warm electricity. This isn't some vague or symbolic occurrence. It's deeply personal. You've felt disconnected for a long time, not because you were lost, but because the time to reconnect hadn't come. Until now. It's like your soul has been locked in a quiet, padded room, muffled by noise, distractions, fear, and the pace of life. But now, something outside that room is pushing the door open. Not with brute force, not with chaos, but with a sacred invitation. A beckoning. You're not trying to force this awakening into being. It's already been reaching for you, and now, finally, you're starting to hear it. Maybe not in words, but in feeling, in vibration, in the subtle frequency of remembrance. And there's something uniquely powerful about this solstice. This particular alignment? It hasn't happened in quite this way for a very, very long time. That's why it feels different. That's why you feel different. Because this time, it's not just the earth that's turning. You are too. But before we go deeper into that, there's something important to clarify. Something once you truly see it, you won't be able to unsee. Magic isn't an act. It isn't a ritual. It's not a performance or a checklist. It's not in the candles or the crystals or the carefully scripted ceremonies, though those can be beautiful tools. Magic is what happens when your entire being begins to resonate with the living pulse of the earth. It's not what you do, it's what you become. Real energy doesn't float around aimlessly. It's not scattered dust. It's intelligent. It listens. It watches. It mirrors you. It moves when you move. When your heart opens. When your breath slows. When your intention becomes pure. That's when it dances with you. That's when it recognizes you. That's when it becomes real magic. The solstice isn't a passive moment on a page. It's the Earth's most powerful heartbeat, a sacred rhythm that everything living feels, whether they consciously recognize it or not. Every tree, every ocean wave, every bird in flight, every human soul, each one gets stirred by this primal pulse. It's nature's way of resetting the rhythm, of calling all life back into harmony. And now, you are being called too. And you're not a passive observer in this. You're not a bystander. Your body is not just a shell drifting through cosmic waters. You are a conductor, a walking tuning fork, a channel for divine voltage. Your nervous system, your breath, your thoughts, your very presence, these are all instruments. And when the solstice energy hits, those instruments begin to play. If you allow them, if you align with the frequency, if you tune in instead of tuning out, that's when intention transforms. It stops being a fleeting wish or a hopeful prayer. It becomes structure, blueprint. Energy starts shaping your reality, not in metaphor, but in real, tangible shifts. When you sync your field with nature's pulse, magic is no longer something distant. It's embodied. It's alive in you. So if you're feeling something right now, tingling in your hands, unexpected tears, sudden moments of clarity, memories rising from nowhere, honor it. You're not imagining things. The shift is real, and it's not just planetary. It's personal. It's sacred. It's yours. Have you noticed lately that your thoughts seem louder, almost as if they're bouncing back at you with more force than usual? There's a reason for that, and it's not just your imagination. We're entering the sacred space of the solstice, a moment where the boundaries of reality become soft, where energy shifts from a subtle undercurrent into something far more tangible. This isn't just another seasonal change. This is something cosmic, deeply spiritual, and energetically precise. Right now, reality itself is more impressionable, more sensitive to your inner world. Thoughts, feelings, and intentions are no longer just quiet suggestions. They're becoming the architects of what unfolds next. This solstice, around June 20th, is unlike a simple turn of the calendar page. It's not something that just happens and is then over. It's a doorway, a powerful gateway, quietly swinging open to let in something rare and sacred. And as it opens, it doesn't simply let you walk through it unchanged. It rewrites things. It bends the rules. shifts the flow of energy, and allows something ancient and intelligent to interact directly with your life. You may not see it with your eyes, but you'll feel it. The texture of time feels different now. Possibilities feel thicker in the air. There's a softness to reality that allows your energy to shape it more easily. That's because the universe, for this brief window, isn't just existing, it's listening. People often feel strange around this time of year, not because something's going wrong, but because something powerful is aligning in ways we don't experience often. You might feel a little ungrounded, a bit more emotional, or even unusually inspired. This shift isn't just about the planet turning. It's about the soul waking. The solstice is not a static moment on a timeline. It's a cosmic pause, a holy breath where time bends and energy stretches out into new forms. It's the universe clearing the fog, even just for a moment, so that your thoughts, your hopes, your healing, and your deepest intentions can land with greater impact. The truth is, we've been conditioned to view time as linear. The solstice comes, the solstice goes, and that's all. But time in its truest form isn't a straight path, it's a spiral. And at certain points on that spiral, the veils between dimensions thin. The solstice is one of those points. It doesn't just mark a season, it reveals a passage that's wide enough, just briefly, to let something else in. Something that doesn't usually have access to our dimension or our awareness. And this isn't just spiritual poetry, it's energetic physics. This alignment between the earth and the sun during the solstice creates a kind of transparency in the energetic field. The static we're used to, the noise, the heaviness, the resistance, fades just enough for clarity to shine through. Your thoughts don't just feel stronger right now, they are stronger. Your energy isn't just buzzing, it's being broadcast. If it feels like your inner world is showing up more visibly in your outer reality, it's because it is. If you think something and then watch it show up, seemingly out of nowhere, you're not going crazy. You're tapping into the solstice frequency. The energy around you is more responsive, more immediate, more aware of your presence. This is a time where your intentions carry the weight of real momentum. Not because you're forcing anything, but because the universe is tuned to a different channel right now. A channel that resonates with the raw pulse of your soul. This moment isn't about being perfect, polished, or even particularly spiritual. It's not reserved for mystics or gurus. It's for anyone who's even a little bit awake. If you've ever felt your intuition tugging at you, whispering things you couldn't explain, now is the time to listen. This energetic gateway is subtle, but it's open. It's been calling to you quietly, through dreams, synchronicities, and sudden inner knowings. The veil between your thoughts and your manifestations is thinner than it's been all year. And that means the invisible parts of you, the parts that feel, sense, and know before logic ever catches up, are finally able to move with power. You've felt this before, haven't you? Those moments where you think of someone and your phone buzzes with their name. When you walk into a room and sense something off before a single word is spoken. When you feel your gut telling you yes or no, and later discover that instinct saved you from something or guided you toward a gift you didn't expect. These aren't just random experiences. They're glimpses of your true power. The kind of power we're taught to ignore, to explain away as coincidence or emotional noise. But that's not the truth. The truth is, you carry an invisible field, alive, intelligent, and profoundly sensitive. Right now, that field is lit up. This solstice isn't simply giving you a little boost. It's giving you access. Access to a deeper current. Access to the part of you that's always known the way forward, but has been buried under doubt, distraction, or disconnection. The solstice doesn't demand you become someone else. It asks you to remember who you've always been beneath the noise. It reminds you that your energy has always had influence, not symbolically, but actually. The thoughts you think, the emotions you hold, the intentions you send out. All of these shape your field, and your field shapes the world around you. There's a kind of pressure building right now, but it's not the kind that breaks you. It's the kind that opens you. It's a cosmic tension, a spiritual tightness in the air that says, something is about to shift. Something's trying to be born through you. It's the universe winding the spring so that what's meant to unfold can do so with velocity. This pressure is an invitation. It's the moment before the breakthrough, the stillness before the sound, the breath before the leap. It's asking you to lean in, not with fear, but with awareness, with trust. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to meditate on a mountaintop or chant ancient words. You just have to be present. Present enough to feel the nudge. Present enough to choose the thought that feels empowering. Present enough to catch the whisper before the noise returns. Because in this space, the universe is not far away. It's curled up close, right against your skin, responding to your every vibration. Reality has become more malleable, and your thoughts have become keys. You can open doors with them now. You can reshape things. You can call in the version of your life that you've been dreaming about, but weren't sure how to reach. This is your moment. Not because the stars say so, but because your soul does. Because something sacred inside you is recognizing the shift, even if your mind doesn't yet know what to call it. That feeling in your chest, that flutter in your spirit, that pull towards something more. That's real. That's the solstice speaking through your cells. It's the universe asking, are you ready to step through? You've always had this power. But now, for a brief and beautiful moment, the universe is holding the door open a little wider. Let your thoughts rise. Let your heart speak. Let your energy move like it was always meant to. This isn't just a solstice, it's a spiritual turning point. And if you let it, it will change everything. There's something stirring in the air that words can't quite capture, but your spirit already knows it. A deeper spiritual magnetism is beginning to hum through the spaces around you. It's like the subtle field of energy that usually just sits quietly in the background is suddenly switched on, alive, alert, and resonating with more intensity. And here's the thing. You don't need to force it, manipulate it, or even understand every detail to feel its effects. You don't need to be an expert in energy to notice that something invisible is touching everything around you, and even more so, everything within you. You see, this field isn't new. It's always been here, always active. But right now, it's simply louder, more vivid, more responsive, and the more amplified it becomes, the easier it is to recognize how deeply your internal world spills into your external reality. The thoughts you hold, the feelings you carry, the quiet visuals that play behind your eyes, they're not trapped inside you. They're echoing outward into the space around you, interacting with the world in subtle, powerful ways. This isn't imagination. This isn't make-believe. This is the real energetic architecture that has always shaped our lives, but right now it's being tuned up to full volume. That's why so many people are reporting unusual sensations this week. Some are feeling sudden waves of emotion that seem to come out of nowhere. Bursts of joy, tears without reason, memories rising like waves. Others are noticing their intuition peaking, picking up on details they would usually miss. Some are receiving flashes of clarity, while others feel like they're drifting in momentary confusion. This doesn't mean anything is wrong. Quite the opposite. It means your energetic body is syncing up with a larger field, aligning with a frequency far greater than what your physical senses usually perceive. Imagine this solstice arriving on June 20th as more than just the turning of a seasonal wheel. It acts like a magnifier, but not in the way most people expect. It doesn't bestow new gifts upon you. It doesn't unlock powers you never had. Instead, it heightens what already exists within you. It draws out the spiritual and energetic abilities that have always been yours, waiting quietly beneath the surface of your awareness. This solstice isn't the source of your power. You are. But the solstice amplifies your signal, turning up the volume so the universe, and more importantly, you, can finally hear it clearly. Those quiet inner nudges you've been feeling, they're not just idle thoughts or random inner dialogue. They're signals, responses, and reflections from the universe itself. It's as if the veil between seen and unseen is thinner now, and you're finally able to pick up the subtle feedback. It's a two-way communication, your soul broadcasting and the field answering. What once felt like coincidence now feels like confirmation. What used to be dismissed as imagination is revealing itself as guidance. And this shift isn't just abstract, it's deeply tangible. For thousands of years, long before we created labels like energy healing, intuition, or manifestation, ancient cultures lived by the awareness that energy, intention, and outcome were never separate things. To them, energy wasn't just a force, it was life itself. When they felt something, they honored it. When they spoke, they believed their words mattered, not just emotionally, but materially. They believed that symbols, emotions, and thoughts had weight. These weren't ideas. These were truths they lived by. And we're beginning to remember those truths now, in real time. During the solstice, this truth becomes especially vivid. The energetic field softens like clay, becoming more malleable, more responsive. It's like reality itself becomes impressionable, ready to be shaped. But this time, you're not the bystander. You're the sculptor. Your mind, your heart, your thoughts, your visualizations, these are the tools shaping that clay. The universe is not doing something to you. It's responding to you. You're not waiting for change to happen. You're weaving it with every breath, every feeling, every silent wish. So ask yourself this: if reality is soft like clay right now, what are you pressing into it? What energy are you radiating, even when you're not speaking? Because in this amplified moment, it's not about what you want on paper or what you say with your words. It's about what you're broadcasting with your whole being. The field doesn't follow verbal language, it responds to energetic language. And your signal right now is being picked up more strongly than ever. You'll start to see it in quiet, almost playful ways. You'll think of something lightly, and then a strange synchronicity will echo it back to you. You'll say something with more heart than usual, and someone will respond with unexpected depth. You'll visualize something, even casually, and signs of it will appear, in conversations, in dreams, even in oddly timed music or images. It's not fantasy, it's frequency. This is how energy works when it's unblocked, when it's heard, when it's fully alive. This isn't the kind of magic we see in movies. There are no potions or flashes of light. There's no dramatic crescendo. It's subtler than that. It's the kind of ancient magic that doesn't call itself magic. It just is. It's the natural law of energy and motion. Emotion becomes intention, intention becomes expression, and expression becomes form. You don't need to memorize that or try to force it. You're already doing it every single day. The only difference now is that the veil is thin enough for you to finally see the echo. Not all doors open with noise. Some open with a quiet internal shift, a sense, a knowing, a pull in the gut that something unseen has moved. And as we approach the night of June 19th into the early hours of June 20th, you may feel that shift most clearly. There's something about that liminal space, the space between night and dawn, when the world is still asleep, that feels unusually stretched. It's as if time itself pauses just slightly. The veil softens. The air holds its breath. It's not just silence you'll feel. It's an invitation to return to something ancient within yourself, a remembering, a recognition that the real alchemy was never out there. It was always inside of you. You're not here to wait for signs. You are the sign, you are the signal, and the solstice is just giving it the space and strength to be heard in full resonance. So let yourself feel everything this week. Let the emotions rise. Let the images flow. Let the strange little moments of synchronicity and spiritual déjà vu remind you that you're not disconnected. You're deeply embedded in the matrix of this living, breathing universe. You are not powerless. You are magnetic. You are not behind. You are perfectly timed. The solstice doesn't just open a portal in the sky. It opens a portal within. And this week, if you listen closely, you'll hear your soul answering its call. There's something in the air right now, an invisible but undeniable invitation. And for many, this invitation may not feel calm or peaceful at all. It may feel like pressure, like standing on the edge of something vast and mysterious. This is the threshold of the solstice, the moment where the energetic tides begin to turn, where the inner and outer worlds feel like they are brushing against each other more closely than usual. It's not just symbolic, it's not just seasonal, it's energetic. This is a gateway, a cosmic doorway, and you're standing right at the edge of it, even if you don't consciously realize it yet. And here's the strange part. While your physical body might be asking for stillness, craving rest or quiet, your energy field is doing the exact opposite. It's alive, it's moving, it's responding. It's pacing back and forth like a watchful guardian sensing a shift in the wind. This is why so many people are struggling to sleep right now. Not because anything is wrong, not because there's some hidden illness or unexplainable stress, but because something else is trying to come online. Something deeper, something ancient, something electric that's been waiting for this very alignment to awaken within you. You may find yourself lying awake at night, mind racing for no logical reason. You may begin seeing strange, sticky dream fragments that don't make much sense but refuse to leave you. Sentences you don't remember hearing before might suddenly echo through your thoughts, lingering like soft whispers just out of reach. You may feel this spontaneous urge to say something out loud in the silence of night, to step outside for no apparent reason, to follow a sudden pull without understanding why. And when that happens, don't dismiss it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Listen. Write down the sentence, even if it seems like gibberish. Whisper the word, even if it sounds bizarre. Follow the nudge, even if you have no idea where it's taking you. That's not just your imagination acting up. That's your higher imprint, your soul's deeper template, tuning into the frequency of something real, something trying to cut through the noise. It's like a radio signal beginning to align with the right channel. At first it's fuzzy, You only catch snippets, but the signal is getting clearer. And no, it won't always make logical sense right away. Some messages aren't meant to be intellectually decoded. They are meant to be received through the body, through the emotional field, through the deeper layers of presence. They bypass the rational mind on purpose. Your energy field is beginning to echo, vibrating and resonating with what's coming toward you. And while the sensations, thoughts, or impressions might feel unfamiliar on the surface, on a soul level, they are intimately known. So known, in fact, that they can feel almost haunting in their familiarity. You're not being haunted, though. You're being remembered. A part of you is being retrieved. The veil between your conscious awareness and your deeper knowing isn't disappearing entirely, but it is thinning. Just enough for your inner being to hear what's calling it. And that restless energy, that unexplainable feeling like something is pulling you into the unknown, that's not a disturbance. It's the first signal of alignment. It's the knock of destiny, echoing gently, hoping you'll open the door. So if you find yourself staring at the ceiling in the quiet hours of the night, heart beating differently for no reason, emotions swirling without a clear trigger, pause. Don't resist it. Breathe into it. Feel into it. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not malfunctioning. You are being summoned. This isn't a gift in the conventional sense. It's more like a natural consequence, a side effect of energetic alignment. Around powerful celestial alignments like the solstice, reality begins to shift its behavior. Not just outwardly, but inwardly in the most subtle and surreal ways. It doesn't just happen in the stars. It happens in your voice, in your thoughts, in your mouth. You might start to notice strange synchronicities. You think of someone, and they call. You say something out loud, and within moments, the universe responds. You speak a sentence, and the person you're talking to stares at you, wide-eyed, because they were just about to say the exact same thing. This is when the solstice stops being an abstract idea and becomes a living, breathing experience. Your current self, the version of you anchored in this moment, is beginning to stretch outward, reaching into the field of what's about to unfold. You are starting to touch the threads of the future, not in a symbolic way, but energetically. And because this expansion of self is happening so rapidly, the time it takes for a thought or a word to manifest into reality begins to collapse. The delay between feeling something, expressing it, and witnessing its reflection in the world around you becomes incredibly short. This is not just intuition sharpening. This is not just a spiritual upgrade. This is energetic acceleration in action. And it is very real. When energy begins to move faster than your usual thought cycles, it creates leaks, gaps in the structure of how we typically experience time and space. Thought starts to seep directly into form. You might notice it starting in the smallest ways. You finish someone's sentence without meaning to. You make a casual joke about something happening, and it materializes later that day. You say something random, and it suddenly comes true. It may not always be profound. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes even absurd. But the magic is there, and once you notice it, you can't go back to pretending it's not real. This is why your words hold immense power right now, not just in what they express, but in what they activate. Your voice is more than communication. It's a transmitter. Your thoughts are no longer staying inside your head. They are moving into form with far less resistance. This is why it's important to be mindful, but not fearful. You're not being asked to become perfect overnight. You're simply being invited to notice, to become aware, to engage with this strange, miraculous process not with fear or skepticism, but with openness, curiosity, and reverence. Something sacred is taking shape within you. Something electric. Something you didn't know you were carrying is starting to rise. This solstice isn't just a seasonal checkpoint. It's a spiritual ignition. And as it continues to unfold, it will keep amplifying the ways your inner and outer worlds respond to each other. You are becoming more tuned in, more alive, more aligned with your own essence than ever before. Right now, we're standing in a rare and powerful moment, the solstice window. It's not just a date on a calendar or a seasonal shift. It's a living, breathing, energetic threshold. And during this threshold, reality itself becomes more fluid, more open, more receptive. It starts listening in a way it usually doesn't. It responds more quickly, more directly. The energetic fabric of your world softens just enough to allow new patterns to slip through. This is when creation becomes immediate, and the line between thought, word, and manifestation begins to disappear. You might not even realize it at first, but what you say right now carries a kind of energetic momentum. It's not just symbolic or poetic. Your words aren't just ideas anymore. They're spells, blueprints, invitations. The field around you is active, listening, and attuned. And even the smallest, most casual sentence can echo back in the form of experience. Something you mention in passing might suddenly show up on your doorstep, not days later, but hours, or even minutes, after it leaves your lips. It's not just coincidence, it's resonance. Because you're not simply living inside of energy anymore. You're generating it, projecting it, shaping it with everything you think and feel and say. You've crossed an invisible boundary where intention becomes direction and direction becomes reality. And when something just slips out of your mouth, unfiltered and spontaneous, and then makes its way into your life, don't brush it off as random or strange. You're not predicting the future. You're drawing it toward you. This is magnetism in action. This is you stepping into the role of creator, not just witness. Something profound is happening beneath the surface, and it doesn't come with bells or warnings. There's no dramatic signpost announcing its arrival, but you'll feel it. You'll know. A moment will arrive, quiet, subtle, when the energy you've been carrying, holding close to your chest, protecting and building begins to move through your life instead of simply hovering around it. And the beauty of it is that you don't need to chase it. You don't need to wrestle it to the ground. The more you try to control it, the less clear it becomes. But the moment you step back and let it move as it wants to, the results unfold with stunning clarity. You begin to witness the invisible turning into the visible. The unformed becomes formed. Suddenly, people you haven't spoken to in a long while reappear. Messages you had forgotten to respond to show up again, as if time itself is stitching the threads back together. Unfinished business, conversations that lacked closure, relationships left open-ended, emotional loops left dangling, somehow begin to resolve on their own, without your direct involvement. It's not that you're forcing things to heal. It's that healing is now naturally flowing through your space. And in the same breath, brand new opportunities seem to appear from thin air. An offer, an opening, an invitation. So perfectly timed, so deeply relevant to your situation, that it almost feels as though the universe read your mind and then responded in kind. But this isn't luck. This isn't random. This is the quiet power of an aligned, energetic field. You're no longer pushing against life. You're pulling it towards you effortlessly. Ideas arrive in your mind fully formed. A conversation that begins with no particular intention winds up revealing something deep and life-altering. A book, long forgotten on a shelf, might tumble open to a sentence that brings clarity or direction. These aren't accidents. These are answers. They're not just pleasant surprises. They are reflections of your inner alignment, mirrored back by a reality that is now paying close attention to your signal. The deeper truth here is that your energy has become magnetic. It's no longer about shouting your desires into the void, hoping something will answer. It's about becoming so attuned, so clear in your own frequency, that the world begins to respond without being asked. It starts whispering back. This is the sacred return of magnetic living, where your life becomes a dialogue, not a struggle. This solstice energy doesn't just heighten your field, it fine-tunes it. It brings everything into sync. And as you move through your day, seemingly doing the ordinary, washing dishes, replying to emails, walking outside, you're also doing something extraordinary. You're aligning timelines. You're connecting unseen threads. You're summoning soul-level clarity. And you're releasing old entanglements that have held you in loops for far too long. You may find that as this energy flows, your own life starts to feel lighter, freer, clearer. There's a dissolving of resistance, not because you pushed it away, but because it no longer has a place in your field. And one of the biggest signs that you're shifting, you stop being surprised when things go right. When something works out in your favor, you don't second-guess it anymore. It feels natural, like a homecoming. Like something you always knew was supposed to be that way. That's the feeling of living in resonance. It's not about controlling outcomes or bending the world to your will. It's about becoming the kind of presence that reality can't help but respond to. And when you stop chasing the outcome, when you stop needing the proof before you believe, something astonishing happens. The outcome begins to arrive. It shows up not as a reward, but as a response to your inner coherence. This is not about luck. It's not about manipulation. It's about becoming energetically honest, clear, unshaken. And when that happens, life stops being random. It becomes rhythmic. It begins to speak your language in ways both subtle and loud. A breeze that carries a message, a dream that gives direction, a person you meet by chance who says exactly what you needed to hear. But the real power in this moment is in your awareness. Not in how much effort you put forth, but in how deeply you're willing to notice. The moment you try to force the magic, you interfere with its flow. But the moment you trust the magic, even when nothing seems to be happening, it unfolds in breathtaking ways. The solstice isn't just a seasonal shift, it's an energetic gateway. It's the universe adjusting the dial so that your field and the greater field of life are in harmonic connection. It's an invitation not to act harder, but to be more aligned, to speak with intention, to walk with clarity, to hold your desires gently but firmly in your heart, knowing they are already on their way. This is how creation works now, not from striving, but from signal, not from loud declarations, but from inner calibration. And the more you remember this, the more effortless it becomes. So let yourself feel it. Let yourself trust it. Let the energy move through your life and do what it was always meant to do. This is a moment of sacred remembering, a reunion with your own power. And if things feel like they're changing fast or showing up unexpectedly, don't panic. Don't question whether you deserve it. Instead, recognize the deeper truth. You've been aligning for this, You've been becoming magnetic without even realizing it. There's a myth that's been circulating for centuries, whispered through generations, echoed in books, in beliefs, in cultural conditioning. A myth that says some people are simply gifted, that magic, intuition, and the power to manifest extraordinary things are rare abilities, exclusive blessings handed to a chosen few, while the rest of us are left to watch in wonder. But that story? It's not just misleading. It's a cleverly spun illusion, a distraction. It's a tale that keeps so many people locked out of their own innate power, doubting themselves while silently watching others rise, succeed, and shine. It keeps the collective dimmed down, waiting for permission or proof, instead of stepping fully into what's always been theirs. Here's the truth that breaks that illusion wide open. Magic isn't a gift. It's a natural consequence of alignment. It's not something only a handful of people are born with. It's what naturally occurs when your inner world is no longer in chaos. When your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions begin to move in the same direction, when they speak the same language and sing the same song, something profound happens. Reality starts to listen. Not metaphorically, literally. The solstice energy doesn't choose favorites. It doesn't pour its radiance only on the spiritually advanced, the awakened, the high vibrational crowd. It doesn't operate like a reward system for the elite. Instead, it opens the same door for everyone. It delivers the same surge of frequency, the same opportunity to step into clarity, into coherence, into truth. What we often call alignment isn't just a spiritual buzzword thrown around for inspiration. Alignment is the felt experience of everything inside you finally agreeing. It's the invisible moment where your desires aren't just wishes anymore. They're declarations. When your body, your heart, your thoughts, and your spirit are all walking in the same direction without inner conflict. That click you sometimes feel, the internal yes, the electric certainty, that's the sensation of coherence. And when that coherence reaches a strong enough frequency, reality doesn't resist it. It responds immediately. Not because you're lucky or spiritually superior, but because that's simply how energy works. That's the physics of vibration. You don't have to force or beg or prove anything to the universe. You just need to become crystal clear in your signal. That's the difference. This solstice doesn't respond to belief systems. It doesn't require rituals or ceremonies, though they can be beautiful tools for intention. What the solstice amplifies most is resonance. That deep, undeniable frequency that comes through when you're not pretending anymore. When you've cleared the static of doubt, fear, and resistance from your energetic field. Because when your energy is unclear, scattered across conflicting emotions, beliefs that cancel each other out, and actions that don't align with your vision, it's like sending mixed signals into the cosmos. You could light 1,000 candles and recite all the affirmations you want, but you'll still feel like nothing's moving. That's not because you're blocked. It's because you're incoherent. Your system is trying to move in 5 directions at once, and the universe, it doesn't know which signal to follow. But when you clean that up, when you center your energy, when you make peace with your doubt, when you no longer fight yourself, the difference is immediate. Coherent energy travels farther. Clear signals pierce through noise. Resonant intentions become magnetic. And the solstice? It gives you the clearest frequency window of the year. It thins the veil between inner and outer, between thought and creation, between spirit and form. During this brief cosmic opening, your energy doesn't have to fight through layers of distortion. The signal is pure, The current is strong, and what you send out is received almost instantly. But the question is, are you tuned in? You see, some people live their entire lives waiting for miracles to drop into their laps. They wait for signs, for perfect timing, for external validation. They believe that the universe will one day grant them permission to be powerful. But others? They take a different approach. They become the frequency that miracles naturally happen around. They don't chase magic. They embody it. They don't wait for change. They are the change. This has nothing to do with superstition and everything to do with conscious choice. The Solstice portal is not just symbolic. It's structural. It's structural. It recalibrates the entire field. It sharpens the thread between the invisible and the visible, the potential and the real. It creates an energetic framework where manifestation becomes less about effort and more about embodiment. During these days, what you are vibrationally carries more weight than what you do physically. What you embody internally has more power than what you try to prove externally. So instead of asking, "What do I need to do to manifest this?" ask yourself, "Who do I need to become to be in resonance with what I desire?" Because that's the real magic. This solstice isn't about waiting for life to deliver something to you. It's about realizing that life has already placed something in you, and it's been trying to emerge. This isn't about hoping the universe finally hears you. It's about understanding that the universe is you, and it's been responding to your frequency all along. There's a massive difference between feeling powerful and actually claiming that power. And right now, in this precise moment of solstice alignment, the space between the two is paper thin, almost transparent, almost gone. If you've been sensing the pull lately, if you've felt stirred, unsettled, inspired, or strangely alert, it's not random. It's the call to coherence. It's your own energy attempting to organize itself into clarity. It's life nudging you, whispering, "It's time." And not just time to believe in your dreams, but time to align with them, to walk as though they're already real, to speak and move and create from that place of inner certainty. This solstice is a mirror and a magnifier. It will reflect back whatever you are holding within. If you are rooted in fear, it will feel like pressure. If you are open in trust, it will feel like flight. If you are doubting yourself, you'll experience friction. But if you are anchored in alignment, things will start moving at an accelerated pace, effortlessly. And none of this is about perfection. You don't have to be flawless to be powerful. You just have to be clear. Coherence is not about being constantly high vibe. It's about being honest with your energy, about integrating the parts of you that used to be at war until you become a whole, unified frequency. That's the tone the universe responds to. That's the resonance that reshapes reality. So what if this solstice isn't about trying to make something happen? What if it's about recognizing what's already rising inside you and finally giving it permission to move? Because at the heart of it all, this energy isn't something you need to chase. It's something you need to claim. You were never meant to wait at the gates of your own power. You were meant to walk through them, boldly, consciously, completely. There comes a moment, subtle yet unmistakable, when the small details of your life, the ones that once felt solid, predictable, and familiar, stop making sense the way they used to. It's not chaos. It's not confusion. It's something deeper. A quiet but powerful realization begins to rise. You're no longer just watching your life shift from the sidelines. You're the one turning the wheel. The patterns aren't just breaking. You're the one breaking them. The transformation around you isn't random. It's being activated by you. And while that might feel overwhelming at times, here's the truth most people overlook. Energy, no matter how intense, how beautiful, or how sacred, was never meant to be frozen in place. It was never meant to sit idle inside you like a forgotten flame. Energy is meant to move. It's meant to ripple through your life, through your body, your emotions, your voice, your choices. It's meant to stir the atmosphere around you. That's what real magic is. Not just the tingling sensation of something ethereal brushing past you, but the transformation you ignite when you allow what you feel to fuel what you do. And right now, in this solstice window, that energy isn't just present, it's amplified. The solstice isn't subtle. It doesn't whisper. It sings. It magnifies every single wave of intent, every flicker of clarity, every heartbeat that dares to live more honestly. This moment in time isn't a small opening. It's a massive doorway, wide and bright, inviting you to walk through. Not someday, but now. You don't need anyone else's validation to step into it. You don't need to chase signs or symbols every 5 minutes to prove that you're allowed to access your own power. You don't need another tarot pull or another full moon ritual or another motivational video to give you permission to tap into what's already yours. The sacred doesn't wait for confirmation, and neither should you. Because the truth is, the solstice isn't here to transform you into something you're not. It's not going to make you magical. It's going to reveal what has always been inside of you. It peels back the noise, the second-guessing, the anxious loops that whisper, "Not yet," or "not enough." It burns through hesitation like sunlight burning away morning fog, and what's left behind in that clear light is the part of you that's always been powerful, always been ready, always been real. That part of you doesn't shrink, it doesn't apologize, it doesn't wait for applause or permission, it just is. And that's the part the solstice wants you to meet again, more fully, more honestly, more bravely than ever before. This isn't about danger. This isn't about something bad happening or some cosmic warning to fear. This is about being seen by life, by the universe, and most importantly, by yourself. This is about coming into alignment with the reality that your energy, your truth, your voice is meant to make an impact. The solstice isn't a spiritual event happening out there. It's a mirror held up to your soul, showing you what's already alive inside. So if you've been waiting for a green light, waiting for some cosmic moment to say, "Now's the time, this is it." If you've been waiting for the right mood, the right timing, the right sign, let this solstice be enough. Let this moment be the permission slip you've been hoping someone else would write for you. Because you were never meant to perform magic like a show. You were meant to be the magic, undeniable, unshakable, unmistakable. This energy you're feeling, it's not meant to sit quietly inside your chest. It's meant to speak. It's meant to create movement. It's meant to shift the atmosphere around you when you walk into a room. Not because you try to be impressive, but because your alignment is that real, that present, that magnetic. So don't just sit in your power like it's something fragile to protect. Use it, express it, move with it, speak from it. Let it ripple through your actions, your words, your boundaries, your intentions. This isn't the time to just wish for change. This is the time to become the change. To be the gravitational center that things begin to revolve around. Not because you force them to, but because you've become so centered in your truth that the universe can't help but respond. The solstice, in all its cosmic fire, doesn't just awaken your power, it dares you to own it, to claim it with presence, to show up so fully in your own energy that the rest of the world can't help but take notice. Not out of vanity, but out of alignment. Because when you do that, when you allow yourself to become what you were always meant to be, everything listens. Reality listens. The people around you listen, your body listens, your dreams listen, the path opens, and momentum finds you. So if you're still here, still listening, thank you for holding space for this message and for yourself. If this resonated with something inside of you, and you'd like to stay connected, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Your support means more than words can express. And if you feel called to share your experiences, your feelings, or your intentions in the comments below, I would love to hear from you. Until next time, take gentle care of your energy, trust in what's unfolding, and remember, you were never waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. Let the solstice reveal it.